The debate of the legality of the death penalty has also reached the High Court of South Carolina. Today, lawmakers discussing different methods and if any method is humane. The argument's taken up much of the day.
Well, Queen City News reporter Will Lewis joining us live here in the studio after hearing those arguments. So first, Will, explain to us, give us some context as to how we even got here.
Well, Alicia and Morgan, it all started back in May of 2021 when lawmakers changed the primary method of execution in South Carolina. Now, those drugs, because there was a lack of drugs for lethal injection, South Carolina lawmakers made the electric chair the primary method of execution. Last year, a lower court in South Carolina ruled execution by firing squad or electrocution are cruel and unusual. It's been questioned a long time in the state of South Carolina.
Why is South Carolina the only state in the country that wants to execute people and that is executing people that can't get the execution drugs?
Well, it's certainly a question, obviously, that this court has.
The answer for why the drugs can't be purchased may not be answered during these arguments, but attorneys for two men on death row maintain having to choose between death by electric chair or firing squad is unconstitutional, as a lower court ruled in 2022.
We can't do experiments on humans. We can't take a human being, strap them in a chair, shoot a couple thousand volts of electricity in them, and then give them a customer satisfaction survey and say, well, what'd you think about that?
More than 30 people are currently on death row in South Carolina, and executions have been delayed since 2017 because those in the corrections system have been unable to purchase the 3 drugs for lethal injection, which was the primary method until May of 2021, when lawmakers changed it to electrocution or firing squad.
The firing squad itself, when it comes to unusual, is a long-standing punishment that's been used in this country. The first one was in 1608 when George Kendall was executed for a mutiny in the colony of Jamestown.
Most recently, an execution by firing squad was carried out in Utah in 2010. South Carolina Supreme Court justices will need to determine if either method can be used, and executions in the state continue. Now, some justices feel if there was a shield law in place for drug companies, this would not be an issue. But that's not up to them to pass legislation. Also, no word on when a decision from the South Carolina Supreme Court in this case will be made. Morgan?